My favorite, I do think that my favorite um, thing I saw on Facebook, or one of that, because you, first of all, again, of course, Big Country Electric, my town segment will be at the bottom of the hour with Jayton's head coach, Ryan Blocker. Our co-op guys and all utility people were working their tails off just trying to restore power and all those things. But I saw this one and it said, and it showed a picture of a trampoline and it said, our trampoline, if you've seen it rolling on county or somewhere on County Road 150 or whatever, please, that's ours. But if there's any property damage or anything, cars hit, that is not our trampoline. Our trampoline doesn't hit anything, but no, it was so. Your Batwing, is that really what it's listed in the catalog?
Batwing.
Oh, wow.
Because see, it's.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
I mean, we get it, right? Whenever, but you have to do like this for you to know that it's there. Because if I'm just chilling like this, it's like secret. You don't know that I've got the.
So for those that, so our radio listeners, she's clapping and here for Facebook and YouTube, you totally get why it's Batwing. Do you think you can pull off Batwing sweater? I know I could not.
I mean, I'm not walking around like.
The fact that Misty keeps sticking her arms out.
I guess I'm trying to justify it.
We're not judging you,
I know.
Misty.
I mean, so
we're glad you. No, but
Josh totally is.
Well, because you went from no pants, and he said like a sweater-like thing, because I think he means like it's going to be 80 today, and he's curious about.
I know. I'm curious about your choices.
Well,
but in her defense, she froze last week.
Yeah, I do freeze even in my office, but I'm flexing today, so I'll be off at 12, and I've got a little a wardrobe change because I have an activity this afternoon that I'll be going to. So
are we able to guess that activity, or can you say that activity?
Oh, I don't think there's any way y'all would guess it. I would be open to, to y'all knowing.
Like 20 questions?
Yeah, but I don't think y'all would guess it. But
you're going to puppy yoga.
No, but that sounds fun.
That's actually a thing.
I would love to do that. And with the goats, I've heard you can do goat yoga too.
I'm afraid they would ram me.
But they're babies. They're babies.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, welcome to our Lawrence Hall Headline Report. Where if you have some goats, go get you a truck and put them in the back of it at Lawrence Hall. They'll get you taken care of. Lots going on, and I wanted to dive into a few things. Again, of course, the state tournament, we'll talk more about that. But just briefly, Jayton did win their back-to-back second state championship over Bryson, 70-36. It wasn't even that close. What a year. You win the state championship in basketball last year. The new football season, you win state championship in football, and then now another state basketball tournament, another championship for them. Congratulations, Coach Ryan Blocker. Aaliyah Chavez ended up winning the state championship the next day, along with Monterey. They had a big ceremony this past week. She was selected as a McDonald's All-American. So she'll get to play in that game on April 1st. And as we mentioned, Pete Christie posted that we shared last week. She's supposed to make her decision on where she's going to go to school on March 25th. I'm curious to know why that day. I don't know if it's to get all conference championships over in college and get the March Madness going. I don't know. But March 25th is when she'll make that decision, and April 1st will be the McDonald's All-American game if you want to catch and watch that with Leah. PGA Tour going on. Arnold Palmer is out playing out there. I don't know if y'all saw this. There was a list of like who made the most money last year. Arnold Palmer, his brand, Arnold Palmer's obviously no longer with us, made $1.7 billion last year.
Wow.
Good. Yes.
Yes, $1.7 billion, not on this earth.
Wow.
Talk about an umbrella making an impact. That is what Arnold Palmer, not just the drink, ladies and gentlemen, but making $1.7 billion. And then I'm going to talk about two different things. One, the Lakers last night win another game over the Knicks. And ever since the trade, of course, the Mavs, unfortunately, ever since the trade happened, Anthony Davis is out. Kyrie Irving just tore his ACL. He's probably done for the year. The Mavs are 6-6. The Lakers are 11-2 since this trade. They were number 5 in the West. Now they're number 2. Jimmy Butler goes to the Warriors. They're there. I thought about this. Is what LeBron is doing, I know Luke is involved in all the things. He's in his 40s playing basketball. Tom Brady was well into his mid-40s winning Super Bowls. I became not a big LeBron fan because of a lot of the political stance that he took and just wasn't a big fan. But what he's doing at this age with this sport. Not that football's not hard, but you stand in a pocket, you run, and you don't have to run very far if you don't want to in football. But what's he doing? And I know you're probably not a big LeBron fan. You're probably MJ over LeBron. I think it's impressive what the Lakers are doing.
I mean, yeah, I obviously like MJ more, but I mean, there's no way you can discredit LeBron in his level of play. I mean, as somebody who's about to enter the fourth decade, it gets harder. It gets harder and harder to do anything the older you get, let alone stay in that type of shape. I mean, basketball shape is a different kind of shape, and if you've never played basketball, you don't understand that. But I am very impressed with the way that LeBron has continued to play, and yeah, you just can't discredit it. Even if you don't like his political views or just the way he is.
But he's gotten a lot more quiet since. I think he's just playing basketball.
Yes, no, he has, and I think that's why things are definitely going his way. So, no, I agree. It's very impressive.
He's definitely one of the best players that's ever played basketball. You can argue about where the order is and who might be, in that list, but he is definitely on that list. So
Luka goes for 32 last night, which was, most Mavs fans would have loved to see that happen in a Mavs uniform. He goes for 32. LeBron goes for 31, and still, I think it's so cool. God decided to bring two of the greatest of all time on the same day. Tiger and LeBron share the same birthday. I think that's always been cool. But I just think at 40, and you mentioned basketball and all the things, and not only the shape, but the level of basketball that he is playing makes you wonder. I mean, I'm 47, and I'm trying to think, whenever you tore your ACL, Josh, was the last time that I played full court basketball. I played in the corporate Olympics a couple years ago, and it was half court, and still could do some things.
He did like a little juke there.
But
sure what that thing is.
Yeah,
you can do it.
I can still shoot defense. Playing zone, but it's unbelievable the level that he's playing at. I'm not saying it's better than what Tom Brady did at his 40s, but it's pretty stinking impressive. And so I don't know. And I said this. I actually called into Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Harry Douglas, ironically, the one that he was on and we did not record it. Has there ever been a trade where the franchise that sent the fan base of the team that sent the best player to the other team wanted the other team to win just out of spite for the organizational mishap? Like I never thought I would say it would not bother me for the Lakers to win the championship this year.
And so you're thinking that the fans of the Mavericks are like, yeah, go ahead and go get it to show this organization just how stupid they are. That's kind of to your point, right?
Yeah, can you think of anything like that? I don't think the Rangers fans ever thought, man, I hope the Yankees win because we didn't keep A-Rod.
No, but that was different. The scenario was quite different because A-Rod won MVPs and had two of the greatest seasons in the history of baseball for a shortstop while he played for the Texas Rangers, then demanded to be traded away from the Rangers and said disparaging things about his teammates, which included Rafael Palmeiro, Michael Young, not people that were slouches. He left Texas hated. Got booed every time he came back to Rangers Stadium. It was a huge deal when the Rangers went to the World Series. A-Rod struck out. All the great things that came from that. This is very different because Luka was beloved by the fan base.
Well, and I guess that's
part of the interweaving of all the Dallas sports.
He was the face of the franchise.
Well, yes, he
was the person that gave the hope post Dirk.
Yes.
And I don't know what might have gone on behind the scenes, but his presence in the media and everything was that he liked being there and was part of the city. Not too big for, you know, for the rest of the team or anything like that.
It's just
And-
the way that they did it, like the secretive 9 o'clock at night, and it just all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? I mean, people literally
Well,
thought it was a
and-
joke
and
being
then didn't-
tweeted out.
Yes, and then didn't get the return that you probably could have if you actually went through the process.
Yeah, what are you gonna
Right.
get to make it to where, okay, we're gonna get rid of Luka, and if he does well, fine. But we gotta make sure that we're trading the, one of the top 5, maybe the most sold jersey, all the things. And we're going to, when we do this, we want to at least get what the Cowboys got for Herschel Walker. I mean, that was the top deal, but you're sending this guy in his prime. Anyway, so hard to say, you know, we give you a hard time about being a Yankees fan because of Gallo and all that. I'm not saying I'm a Lakers fan, but it's not going to bother me if they were to win. Anyway, that's our Lawrence Hall headline report again. Lawrence Hall of Abilene, 1385 South Danville, Lawrence Hall Abilene online.com, always open. I've got something to explain when we come back, and then we'll dive into our.
That didn't help us a lot.
Oh, yes, it'll all make sense. We'll be back right after this, maybe.
I'm like, will it? Because 2 texts and a video, and we're still confused. I think I kind of get it, but
I get it after the,
Did the audio actually help?
well, I mean,
or the audio, not the video, yeah.
yes.
Ish. Heavy on the ish. Are you going to pee?
No, I'm gonna go check the screen.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go.
Well, I thought you were going to be.
I was gonna go screen, but now I'm gonna go check.
If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around, with amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live.
Saw the Rangers won yesterday.
Good, good. I'm feeling pretty good. Happy Thursday.
Okay, I was like trying to figure out what to do. Okay, serious question. And you are my guy friends. I'm going to get my hair done today.
Serious question.
That's your activity?
No, well, it's one of them. I have another one after that. How much length should I take off? I'm thinking like a couple of inches.
So you think if you
Yeah,
cut?
A few inches?
I mean, I've seen you with really short hair.
I'm not doing that.
not
But-
doing that.
I'm not going
I
back
didn't-
there because I think that was a mistake.
I wasn't gonna say that like it was a terrible thing. I
Well,
just-
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't
Remember when you
great.
came and did the little thing for the co-op? You're like,
Yes.
"Well, it is like yours."
Yeah, it was like chin length. It was a mistake. I'm thinking like a few inches. A few inches can make a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not. Like if I did like that, I'm thinking like maybe 3 inches. I don't know.
Like,
I just need a little bit of a change, and then I'm gonna get more blonde.
not too much.
Right, but not just like half an inch.
Yeah,
Has Leanne always had short hair?
for obviously a long time now.
Her makeup and like her face, like it suits her so well. I was just curious. I was like, I wonder if she's ever had long hair.
She did, like, not super long.
Yeah,
You know, like shoulder.
yeah. I just was curious, like, you know, when you see, it's kind of like my friend Tammy. You know, you see somebody,
Oh, yeah,
With
her
short
just
hair.
fits her. And it's just
right,
like-
and she rocks it, and it's perfect. But and I've seen like pictures of her with long hair. But I'm like, it's just so weird, you know, to change after you've been one way for so long.
Right.
Axe throwing. You going axe throwing? today?
No, it is a solo mission.
You're gonna get a massage.
No, well, there will be somebody else
It's a-
with me,
it's a-
but I will be the one doing the activity. Y'all are never gonna guess.
You're getting a new tattoo.
No.
You're getting the 4 on your back.
Oh man,
With this opportunity to flip the
four.
second number.
A big 4-0. Y'all, that's next weekend. And Clay said he sent y'all the party. Having a little gathering. Kids are welcome. We're not. I mean, Collins is going. Which I'm like, better hold your kids.
We are clearing the bases, and welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. We're clearing the bases, and I'm going to clear up some. As you've heard Josh say or Misty say, sometimes when the rundown comes out, there's some things that are curious and questioning and wondering and all that.
Very curious.
Yeah. So this past week, I threw out. Well, let's go to the text.
I was gonna say, can we just read the text chain?
Let's go to the text machine. Where's the Hodge Pack at? You gotta find it here.
You don't have us pinned?
I don't
Wow.
even know how to do that.
Oh, come
I'm gonna
on.
show you.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys think is the most petty, vain thing we hold on to or deny needed? Been in meetings. Okay.
Like, I'm what?
Like not, of course, I would say this is autocorrect. I'm pretty sure I was typing. Like not being willing to go to glasses, eating AIDS.
Eating eggs.
That was the best one.
It is okay. I don't remember what it is okay was about. Not like when Four Eyes was cut down, but we didn't say it with sunglasses on. No. Here's
Our
the next.
listeners are now stupid for having heard the text messages read aloud.
No. Hey, and then
Like,
what was
sorry
bad?
for your loss of
crying.
IQ.
Hey, but what's bad is I went ahead and asked, did that help at all, Josh? So let me explain. So and then I did it again, it still didn't help at eating aids, and then Josh broke it down like Taylor Dinkley did a few weeks ago. And then I did an audio recording, and I think it helped a little bit more. But so let me explain as best as I can. I was listening to the ticket, and they were talking about how, as people, we used to say things that not very nice as kids or whatever, and one that was, Four Eyes, and which was stupid. And actually, a coworker and I talked about how just sometimes kids could be just mean and need to figure it out and all that. Well, there wasn't anything wrong with Four Eyes. You had them so you could see. That's why kids wore glasses. But like I said in the text so eloquently, was that we didn't say that if you wore sunglasses, which was the same thing. Or like hearing aids, if you can't hear, you buy hearing aids. But so many times, I'm 47, probably should get some readers. Mom's watching, so she's going to say something, probably buy 12 pair, but I don't need them yet, Mom. I'm okay, because I'm still vain. But that's my point, is that you see these people that deny or not deny.
Or delay it.
Delay or just like ignore the fact that you need hearing aids. Josh, at the fantasy draft, you've got glasses.
Oh, yeah, I have to wear reading glasses, but
Does that make any kind of sense in what I was trying to say?
I get it, because reading glasses, I think especially, is one of those things that's just like, you're old. You have to wear reading
Is this
glasses.
like going from like a bikini to a one piece?
Probably.
That could be.
Okay.
That could be. That could be.
Okay, because I'm like trying to get it right in my brain. I'm like,
because-
what?
Well, no, it's
Like
like
you're old and
when
you should cover up.
when you slap those reading glasses on, it's like you're admitting like you're old.
Yeah. So
And
when I wear a
think
one piece,
that I had to do so earlier than most.
And I think that's
Okay.
the other. I think that's the other.
But
The battle of the petty vainness of like.
well, yeah,
It's
I
okay.
put them on at the fantasy draft to read the small print, on the
List of players.
list of players, and everyone made fun of me. So I mean, why would you want to put on reading glasses
Right,
and be
and
made
so-
fun of?
And so
okay, now I follow. It's knowing is half the battle.
No, and that's the thing right now for those that are in our fantasy football draft that know, we got to stop that. The bullying
Yes.
must stop now, because that's why I use huge font on the rundown, is so Josh doesn't have to wear those for you listeners out there.
So when y'all see me this summer in a one piece, because I'm crossing over to the hill here and next weekend.
Now, all right.
And it is your fifth decade.
It's
I mean,
not, you
yeah.
meanie.
0, 11,
Oh,
21,
okay.
31,
Well,
40.
Okay, well, 40. I'm
So
not
Josh is
thinking of it
the
that way.
decade police.
Yeah,
with that.
apparently.
If she's gonna try to church it up and say 4 decades, no, this is 5 decades.
That is
So,
true. So you were
like-
50.
Jeez.
So anyway, I'm glad to explain that. I want to be sensitive because we're going to call Coach Blocker in about 8 minutes. So I want to dive into the Texas, yes, First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger MLB report. The Rangers are out and playing well. They're 6-8 as of now in spring training. A couple of injury notes. Bochy talked about Dolis Garcia's got an oblique strain. Said it's pretty mild, and his boys probably could let Josh say that. Wyatt Langford was a grade 1. He mentioned he might try to play today, but he did talk about depending on weather. To me, you're playing, it's 162 games. Pace yourself on rushing back at all in this situation.
Oh, for sure.
Take your time, not a big deal. I thought this was interesting as far as throwing this out again, First Bank and Trust, right across the street from Abilene Country Club on Treadway if you need any banking needs. The Cubs are 9-2, the Rockies 10-3. Last year's World Series champs are 5-7. How much do you put stock in any kind of preseason activity?
Very little. It's truly about the process. It's about getting up to speed. You talk about things all the time as far as like when you see spring training results, it's a grain of salt because there are people who will rake in the spring training for whatever reason. They happen to go against a pitcher that's working on specific things and not really at their best and make the most of it. But then you've never heard of that guy and you never hear of him again. So you can't really put a whole lot into it as long as you. As a fan, as somebody that I pay attention to the box scores a little bit, see what's going on. You just want to see working through, getting better. Like Marcus Semien had really a breakout game yesterday, hit a home run, his first of the spring. Then like
Seager's not, right? Seager's not doing anything.
Seager's still batting like 154. But I'm not worried about that in the least. Because there's track record, and it's just he's going through his process. Some of those veteran players don't play near as much as some of the other guys because they're just getting in what work they feel like they need to be prepared and go forward. So individual performances, if someone's doing well, you're happy about it. You hope it carries over, but it may or may not. But generally, it's like, are they progressing? Kumar Rocker, finished last year, with his first little stint in the big leagues, looked good. His first 2 starts in spring training this year looked absolutely terrible. Well, then we find out that during those 2 starts, he didn't throw a slider, which is his best pitch. So he was working on other secondary stuff to try to get better overall, so he was not throwing the slider, throwing, I guess, more of a curve and working more changeups. He got rocked. That's not going to keep going forward. I mean, I assume, I hope, when he has his next start, because he'll mix the slider back in as he's getting ready to go. So it's like, you got to take everything. The coaches know what's going on. The staff is aware that, like, hey, today we're not going to work. We're going to work on this pitch, so keep trying to throw it, even if it's getting rocked. So there's all that to kind of take into consideration. But they're hitting home runs as a team, which is good.
I'll throw this out, and then I want to get to the other part of the MLB report. Is there anybody that is, we see in golf, like, somebody that out of nowhere is playing well, wins a tournament? Is anybody right now in spring training surprising anybody that we didn't see coming? And the answer could be no. There is no Wyatt Langford that we didn't know is playing well. That's not a problem. I'm just curious, is there?
Well, there are several young guys in the bullpen, and the bullpens where help is needed, that have looked pretty good. That Teedo, or how do you say his last name? I don't know. He's bringing it 100 miles an hour, and I don't know how sustainable that is. He's like 6'1", 175, and throws 100 miles an hour. But that type of thing, there's always that chance that, the Rangers bullpen is still that big question mark. So if somebody does, kind of take that next step and show up, then that would be great. As far as the position players, there's not really any one player that's really just like stepped up and just like, oh man, like Wyatt Langford did that last year. So my main concern right now is Wyatt Langford and Adolis Garcia having some, what they're telling us are minor injuries. That's, that's always scary. But I want those guys to do what we know they can do and have an exciting season.
Right. So Rangers rolling again in the month. We'll have real baseball that matters. It came out this week that Rob Manfred may think about lifting Pete Rose's ban. Misty, you've heard me say a number of times here on the show, I am not a fan. It's a little different situation because he had this lifetime ban. I am not a fan of people waiting till somebody passes to try to get them in a Hall of Fame or try to take away their punishment. What do you think he should do?
I don't know, because I'm with you. I'm like, okay, like it's almost like not what's the point, but I'm with you on that.
What are you going to solve?
Right,
What are you going to prove? Is Pete Rose's family now to say Grady's a Hall of Famer and Pete didn't get to experience it?
Exactly. To me, it's almost more of a slap in the face because he's not here to enjoy it. So I don't know. I'm like, let's just move on and quit talking about it. Like he's not here. So just keep it moving, and should have been lifted a long time ago, in my opinion.
You got about 30 seconds, Josh. Your thoughts on that?
I agree completely. It's almost like if you do it now, it's just publicly admitting we're waiting for him to be dead.
I do. I think it is a bad look.
Just so he couldn't have the joy of being a Hall of Famer, we'll wait for him to die. He is obviously a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like whether he's in there or not, you don't know the story of baseball if you don't know the guy has more hits than anybody else.
Right. Yeah, and it was almost like, do we need this? Because the NBA has some excitement going on with the trade and Luka and LeBron, and that's brought them in. And baseball, we're just kind of here. We really don't have anything to talk about. Last year is the Shohei Ohtani betting thing, and then now there's really nothing. There's not a whole lot of big news to talk about in baseball. But now if we bring up, hey, bring up Pete Rose. Now I'm Googling MLB.com. I'm looking up things about Major League Baseball, and I just have a hard time with that. It's like Darren Woodson, all these people that belong in the Hall of Fame, whatever it is, Big Country Athletic Hall of Fame. Next Friday, Al Pickett's going to be here and talk about their upcoming class. If you're a Hall of Famer, as soon as you can figure out and you qualify, get them in. That way they can enjoy it. As many family members that they have still living can be there and enjoy it all together. So anyway, that is our First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger MLB report. Closer and closer to opening day, and seeing if the Rangers can bounce back from a season that did not go as well, which is expected when you have a World Series championship. But now will Bruce Bochy find a way to win another one? When we come back, our Pest Patrol phone line will have a two-time state champion head basketball coach, Ryan Blocker, and we'll talk to him from Alamo City.
I was just looking at the hits leaders just because brought up Pete Rose, and he's got 4,256 hits. Only 2 people in the history of baseball have over 4,000, and only 5 have over 3,500.
Wow.
Everyone who's eligible for the Hall of Fame in the top 22 are in the Hall of Fame. The people that aren't are Pete Rose, Albert Pujols, and Miguel Cabrera, who both will be. They just haven't been out for 5 years yet. And then Alex Rodriguez is number 23. He's a Hall of Famer also. Rafael Palmeiro's number 30, not in the Hall of Fame.
But should be.
Yeah. Barry Bonds, number 38. Omar Vizquel, number 44.
Can you hear me? Yeah, gotcha. We're at commercial. We got a few commercials, and we'll come back and rock and roll. So, man, congrats on a. How slow did that clock run?
It actually went really fast.
Okay. because I started watching it at the office, and then I had to go to a luncheon, and so I took it on my phone, and I look, and of course, they got to get more camera angles and stuff for basketball like they do football. But anyway, I zoom in and I saw 40 something to like 6. I'm like, did they take off a number? Is the one not showing up? And but yeah, I'm saying everybody. Did you get any managers in, or did everybody get to play?
Everybody got in.
Wow.
Everybody got at least a minute and a half.
Wow. Pretty crazy, man. That was, and so I guess you just graduate.
We graduate 3, graduate 2 starters.
Gotcha. But how's the younger groups?
Good. Our sophomore class is really good. They are kind of our top 3 off the bench.
Right. But your son's a sophomore, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I am going to ask you this question because I got this posed to me, ironically, while I was working an ACU game for ESPN Plus, and his son goes to a Metroplex school, and he asked the question, why do you think schools that are good are always good year after year after year? To me, I'm going to ask that same question to you. How do you think, and why do you think Jayton, Naz, because it's not like new jobs are coming in, why do you think those things are happening? So, but yeah, we'll talk about the run, get your idea of the new setup. I know it worked out for you last year, worked out for you this year, and then just the fun of yesterday. And we'll let you, if you need to get back some beauty sleep too, we'll let that happen. Nice. So, did y'all watch any other games?
We went and watched Lafayette and Martinsville. Lafayette and Martinsville.
All right, cool. All right. Last one, and we'll be ready.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and Everything. Give it 20. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative, taking care of their members each and every day. Snyder, Roby, and Stanford, and joining us on our Pest Control phone line, 2-time head coach, basketball, state champion, and football coach, Ryan Blocker, joining us on our Pest Control phone line. Had a stroll in the Alamo Dome yesterday. Coach, appreciate you joining us this morning. Again, winning the second one yesterday, a different route than last year, no state tournament. I'm going to tell you, I kept hearing the people calling the game saying, man, it's such a difference. You get your first game and then you get the second game. I'm like, everybody's playing their first game in there. Anyway, I wasn't a big fan of how that was called yesterday. But, Coach, you won another one in 70-36. I asked you how slow that clock moved, and you said it went pretty fast. Talk about this journey from winning it last year, football, and putting a third ring on your finger as a coach at Jacob.
Yeah, it's been a great journey. The football is just something you're off the way we do football, and to get kind of our first, it wasn't Jake's first state championship, our first there, which is awesome. And take that on a Wednesday, and we started thinking on a Friday in basketball. And had to get it right away, but our kids are in the gym so much that it's not it's not a huge deal for them. And then you got this whole new setup, playoffs differently, and I really believe we had to go through, the top 2 teams in the state just to get to the state tournament, and Gordon and Texas. So it was a stressful year, having to do that, the new setup, not knowing who was playing, who's big school, small school, but our kids are winners. They do everything right, and they have to pay, and it just makes it
Once again, joining us on our Pest Control phone line, Coach Ryan Blogger. You talk about the different route in your path to get back to the Alamo Dome. Real quick before I finish that part, was that y'all's third straight trip?
It was our third straight trip. It was our fifth trip in 2019.
Okay, I thought it was 3 in a row back to the Alamo Dome, but you mentioned the route, and you experienced real quick. What was it like? I mean, it was so funny. I told everybody, if you're going to watch the Jayton Gordon game, which was the area round, for those who don't understand that's the second round. 2 of the best teams in the country or in the state, 2 just won state championships in football, having to play each other in the second round. The atmosphere that was in that gym, because when y'all were done, you had 6A Friendship in South Lake Carroll, and then it felt like it was a tournament game because there were so few people in the gym after y'all got done. Just briefly talk about the atmosphere there, because it was probably a more heated atmosphere, even though y'all blew out Bryson, than what that stadium is at the Alamo Dome. Talk about that a little bit, because it was a packed gym.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the funner environments we've ever been a part of. We went and practiced at Wiley, I think on a Tuesday, talking to our admin over there, and talking about, are you going to limit tickets and everybody yes, because it's going to be a big one. We kind of knew way in advance what this game was going to draw. We get there, we pull up to the stadium an hour before, and there's only 200 people in line waiting to get in. They're there before we are there. And that majority of them are our people. They travel so well. But man, you just talk about environment for our kids. And the bigger the situation, the better our kids play. So we welcome that. We welcome the people sitting 3 deep on the floor, like they were at that game. And, and we know that our kids will be great in the environment. So that was truly one of the special environments I've ever been around.
And then you mentioned that, and then you had to play text line to get to the Alamo Dome, which again, I had sent you a text like, who's next? Who's going to be the tough one? And it was text line. Then you get to the state tournament, state championship. It's just one game, winner take all, like football. And you have this, you jump on Bryson in a very early state and just take off. And really, it was almost like a knockout punch that they didn't know how to wake up from. You have Colton Gentry have a huge game, huge dunk, all this stuff. What was it like in that moment, knowing, hey, after the first quarter, we know we're getting our second ring?
Yeah, I don't know if I thought that, but I knew when our defense came out, played so well, and I think we held them to 0. They didn't have a field goal in the first half. Our defense was just as good as it's been all year. And we had the buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter from 3. We had the big dunk, and Mobile had it was just all on our side. And we've never really experienced that before. So it was really a really fun environment. It was just fun. It wasn't really stressful. It was just fun. We could have fun, and that was a great feeling in the state championship game.
And you got to have, we mentioned while we were in break, before we went on, about how I joked that you let some managers play because it was such a blowout. But you said everybody got to play. And how big is that? And that'll lead to my next question, what we talked about. But how big is that, getting those kids that are younger kids that may not have played a lot throughout the year? Because I know you had some blowouts throughout the year, but getting that experience in the Dome, it's a huge building. I wish they'd find another place. That's another story. But getting that experience to play and get some, quality minutes, that's not practice, in a state championship.
Yeah, it's, I don't ever want people to think we're getting to we've had a great run. I don't want people to think getting to the state tournament is easy, or getting to the state game is easy, because it's extremely hard. So you don't ever want to take it for granted. You don't want to take it for granted that you'll be there next year, because a million different things can happen that will knock you out. And for those kids to get that opportunity, so now we'll have 40 years of kids saying, hey, I can go to the state championship game. I got the opportunity to step on the court and play. That's really just a great thing. But then also, if you can get back, for them
Yeah, I think that's big. And here's, I got two more questions for you, then you can go back and enjoy the continental breakfast or whatever they got cooking for you. But you talked about the success that y'all had, and you were at Rural, and you and I had some great battles back then, and then you kind of ran out of, not necessarily, talent, but like an opportunity for you to go back home to Jayton. And you go back home, and now you've got this run of success and Coach Stanley's experience in football. Why do you think? Because I had a conversation with a guy, and he said, "Why do you see these schools that are good every year?" And he was talking about the Metroplex area. You guys are doing it in a town where kids are just dedicated in stability and coaches. But why do you think the success that you guys continue to have is happening, and the expectation? You're not quite the 26 state championships like Nazareth, but your expectation is getting close to it.
Yeah, when I took the Jayton job, I knew what Jayton was. I knew what type of place it was, what it could be. And, I don't know if there's just one answer, because, the youth sports programs are great, all of them. The participation rate is probably around 90% in every youth sport. The parents, the community, when we go somewhere, Jayton travels, and it's not just people that live in Jayton. It's people that graduated in the 70s, people that graduated in the 80s, the 90s, like everybody's together. And you can't really understand that unless you kind of get it. But that community pride and that school pride, it never goes away. It's a really big deal. That's something that you feel every day. And if you go to school at Jayton or if you graduated in Jayton, you understand that. But the biggest thing is our kids. Our kids are winners, and when this group was in elementary, they got to watch another group do it. They got to watch, the buzzer beaters against Nazareth in the state tournament, and they got to watch the teams get there. A lot of them were managers, or a lot of them were elementary kids. And Jayton does such a good job of fixing the high school kids and the elementary kids. And those elementary kids look up to them so much that they want to be them. And we see that right now with our elementary. And it creates this culture of doing things the right way, and it's great leadership from our kids because they're such good kids. And it's just like a cycle that keeps going.
Well, and again, y'all done a fantastic job with it. And this little question's a little different. You've competed against him. Real quick, can you think of a time? Grayson Rigdon today at 1 o'clock is going to have a chance to win. He's won 4 state championships in football and a chance to win one at basketball. Thoughts on just kind of that kind of run from a kid that has a chance to do something today that is a pretty big rarity?
Yeah, we played him last year at the state championship. Man, he's just a very, very unique athlete. The run that he's on, I think 3 different schools for the football to win the football. It'll be a second school, two different schools doing basketball. So, that's just crazy. He's just a great natural athlete. Doing whatever, he could probably go play baseball if he wanted to.
Yeah.
That's golf, whatever he wanted. He's just one of those kids that comes along with very, very, not very often.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty wild on what he's probably fixing to do or have a chance to. But what you guys have done, again, I don't know how y'all can't win the Lone Star Cup this year with all the state championships and all that. But, Coach, again, a lot of respect for what you've done. You've been successful where you've been. Appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning from San Antonio on our Pest Control phone line. And, again, congratulations, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it, but then you'll start to get ready for it, another run soon. So I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate it. Again, that's Coach Ryan Blocker, Jayton head basketball coach, state champion. When we come back, we're going to open up Misty's bag. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
For over 30 years, Lawrence Hall Abilene has been voted.
Appreciate it, man. All right, have a good one. We'll see you, bud. Bye.
Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, and the best customer service too.
Hello. We're good.
Have you enjoyed the social live experience?
Well,
I know, I did. I was like, when I put these on, I was like, well, their color's purple. Yeah, I love the colors. Yeah, I really about that. But yes, I remember that. Yes. Are we doing, are they next? Or are we doing ours? Okay, okay. No, go ahead. Yeah,
No,
sit there. And y'all can sit in these stools if that's more comfortable. Yeah, sit right here. It's more, probably more.
Y'all still do the live feed?
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Oh, you're fine. Just watch these cords, but yeah, y'all can sit there. That's gonna be more comfortable than over here. We're gonna do the back question, which is from a listener today, and it's quirky, so just a warning. Yeah. But hey, we have to give the listeners what they want.
That's right.
So, but yeah, I was like,
Do
okay.
you want to do anything with this?
Uh,
Or at the next break?
yeah, we can figure that out. Yeah, it's fine. Or we can just wing it like we always do and selfie up. Okay. All right. So y'all, tell me y'all's golf tour. Is it April? It's
April 24th.
April 24th.
Yeah.
Eek, that's coming quick. Yes.
I will keep saying that.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we have plenty of time.
That's how I feel about Abilene Gibbs, because it's like a couple weeks after that, and I'm like, yeah, that feels like it's tomorrow in my
Yes.
world. I'm like, ooh.
I'm telling you, ever since November 5th ended and Trump won, I think leading up to November 5th, it just drug.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, ever since that, it seems time is flying faster. I mean, today is March 7th.
Yeah,
How is that possible?
I know.
Yeah.
It is.
It is
wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
I do feel that way. I feel like, yeah, the fall was like this sluggish, I don't know, it was weird. Yeah. And I mean, still all the uncertainty every day.
Do y'all I say y'all will be on the board, or is it just a Bueno thing? Do you know they round up at Bueno to help people with domestic violence?
Oh, that's
But who
cool.
is that benefit?
I don't know.
who it benefits.
Because I have asked a while
Somebody
back,
needs to
I
ask
forgot
that,
about it again.
either ask
Yeah.
Bueno corporate, but yeah,
I need to ask them again, because I tried to get a hold of them last year.
because they asked that, and I was like, yeah, I'll round up, but it just made me wonder, like, where does it go?
Yeah, where's it going?
Bueno needs to be a sponsor for this tournament.
No
They're
kidding.
from here. I don't know if they still have, I don't know where their corporate is now, but they started here. Yeah.
It must be right if I'm saying that. That's not exactly right. This is Hodge, Misty, and Josh on the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. Again, appreciate Coach Ryan Blocker from Jayton joining us from San Antonio to talk about what it's like winning a state championship. Unfortunately, from a player, we lost in by district, and when I was coaching, I made it to the regional tournament twice, but wasn't able and the coach there. So what a great accomplishment by Jayton, and good night. They just keep producing wins. We're going to see if one of our listeners produced a win for Josh or I or Misty with simply this.
Oh, I think this is going to be a fun one. But first, let's give a shout out to Mulligan's. The weather is getting so nice to go to Mulligan's, and
The
this
time
is
change is so, thank you, Jesus.
what is it, Sunday, right? So we're almost there. It's going to be amazing. But I don't know if y'all saw that they kind of came out with a PSA this week regarding the kids at Mulligan's. So obviously we all know Mulligan's is a family establishment, but they came out with a PSA as more people are on the range, making sure that you are watching your kids. You know, they had some issues last year with some kids messing up the greens. I don't know if y'all remember that, but they really destroyed them. So, you know, just a reminder that get out to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive, but watch those kids and just help Mulligan's keep Mulligan's what it is. So with that being said, here is the question. This could get really wild or tame. I don't know. We'll see what y'all think. If you could replace one rule in any sport with something just completely wild and outlandish, what would it be?
That's not too bad. I feel better about myself now and what this is going to do because I have options.
Yes, you have
Have you thought
options.
about this a lot?
Well, yes.
You want to revamp?
Oh, he's
Yes.
on it. He's like, I know what to say.
I'm about to rattle off a few. One,
Okay.
I wish that you could goaltend no matter what. Like, I don't care. Just you're 6'5", or 6'10", you shoot. Just not in my house.
In the 3-pointer.
Yes, just
Right.
get that out of my house.
I actually would like that.
Number two,
He has thought about this.
I wish you could throw a pass again in football. Like, oh, hey, guys, over, I've got a good tackle. Not only backward laterals, you could throw it forward. That would be cool. And then I think they should do the golden bat rule. I'm just kidding. I don't want Josh to get mad at me. That's a joke.
Oh, I was like,
That's a
this
joke.
is going to heat up.
The golden bat rule is stupid. But I think that one would be fun. Now, an obvious one, if you hit a golf ball in the middle of the fairway and it's in a divot, you should be able to pick that up. All right, I'm done. Josh can go next.
My answer is really wild.
Well,
So this is
mine
not
is-
going the way I thought it was going to
Well,
go.
his is really wild. It's like,
Mine involves a pig.
you know,
Are you having games at
if-
stock
I'm
so-
shows?
gonna tell y'all in a minute. I had a whole discussion with somebody about this
If you
last
did away
night.
with goaltending, the only defense that you would see in basketball was 3 tall dudes standing around like they were the goalie.
That's true.
And
Actually, I retract that statement. Goaltending is dumb. I wish it. Here's another one. If you take a charge, you should be able to get to shoot free throws. Right now, you don't. Next. I'll think of a wild one and involve a pig or a donkey or something just to
I
get back
mean,
in
this,
this world.
yeah, it needs to be.
I'm being intellectually up
You
here.
are, and
Yeah.
I'm like a little shocked. This normally doesn't happen.
Hang on, I can't turn her mic off because it turns yours.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, what do you got?
Why are we on the same mic? That's not fair.
Well, it's the same button. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you have a rule?
Well, I'm trying to articulate it because I don't.
Because you're nervous. You heard a very Harvard Ivy League thought from here.
Oh, wow.
And then now you're about to
No,
have
you
you're about to have FFA over here, which I love.
Well, that's its own thing.
I
I'm more interested in. Well, you really threw me off with the goaltending. I was like, that's the dumbest rule.
Maybe one
Oh.
person can just like go
No,
all the way
because
around.
the- Rossi's right.
You're playing, yeah, it would just be a goalie. Like
would-
you're
you
playing
would-
hockey.
You
Right.
would take away Steph Curry.
Like,
Steph can drain it from whenever,
Yeah, but all they
however.
have to do is time and wait.
Maybe, yeah.
Unless you could tackle the guy trying to
Yes.
goaltend with a pig.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I don't know.
Do you want me to go next? Because
Yes,
I'm ready.
yes,
Okay.
you go.
So again, I had a whole discussion last night about this. So I have a couple, but y'all, this is the one that came up last night. So one is, this is not too crazy, but kickers in the NFL have to arm wrestle for the coin toss to start the game, or a greased up, like oiled up, like little pig is let loose on the field, and whichever team can tackle it first wins the coin toss. Is what I was told could be a crazy wild rule.
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because they probably don't need to be drug tested today at work. That came up with
This
that
person
idea.
was not on drugs, but I don't think they were.
First
but
of all, you'd have to have an area. You couldn't just open up the whole field. Because
no,
you would
they
have to start the game at 12:05.
said the field, and whoever gets the little piggly, the greased up, they said greased up pig, and catch a. Have you ever tried to catch a dry pig? I haven't, but it looks hard.
I have.
I mean, is it
Mhm.
hard?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't
then I don't know. Again, outlandish, wild. That's
all right.
what this listener wanted.
Here's this. This would be funny in execution, I think. All right, they're talking about the ball strike call, where you can challenge the previous call, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's say we put that in place, that you can challenge at any point, batter, pitcher, catcher, ball strike. if you get your challenge wrong, you have to sit out for 1 inning and cannot be replaced on the field.
And you only play with 8 players?
You can only play with 8 players. If the pitcher challenges it and gets it wrong, some random other player on the field already, not from the bench, like you got to bring your right fielder in to pitch for the rest of that inning.
Okay.
If you're the batter, you call it, and you're wrong. There's your shortstop. Next inning, your team plays with no shortstop.
Oof, that would
Okay.
be tough.
I mean, that's a,
So you can
it's
challenge it.
illogical, but it is a cool thing.
You can challenge it, but if you're
You bet.
wrong,
It costs you.
it costs you.
Yeah.
So Collins and we were talking about this question last night, and she had a baseball one, and she said this always annoyed her when she played softball. She says that her rule that she would make is if you hit a pop fly, but you make it to the bag before they catch your pop fly, she would like to be safe. She was like, because
That
I
keeps
would
you
just,
running out all your pop-ups.
yeah. She said, I would have been safe so many times, but they catch it, you're out. But she said, if you can beat the ball, the catch, you should be safe.
Okay. I mean, I
I thought that was cute. I mean,
that
she's
is
12.
cute. That is cute.
Yeah,
That
you
is
know.
cute.
But-
I think it'd be cooler if we could soften up the baseball and you could throw it out on a kickball. Like,
Play pegs?
Yes. You could do it with a real one because they would kill somebody. But like if you could soften up the ball and like, there's no chance I can get you. I can't throw it, but I could like kickball.
Yeah, well, I mean, we played pegs in baseball a lot. We played with like a tennis ball, and then, you have,
Oh my
you play
God.
3-on-3 and you play pegs.
Thank you, Lord.
I just thought of something.
Right. But, so that would be fun, because there's always risk with your playing pegs. It's like, do you go for the peg where if you miss him, it's way out over here, and then
It's like a challenge.
everyone's just running around the bases?
It is like
You know,
challenging call. Am I going to be running for that? They need to. Oh Lord Jesus, I'm going to reach out to my people at ESPN.
I want to cut. This is my
No.
question.
Every
Just kidding.
Ocho has those weird sports. Why do we not have professional wall ball?
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Firing squad.
Firing
Oh
squad,
my gosh.
professional wall ball. I mean, could you imagine you get?
The kids, they still play wall ball?
I bet not because that's way too dangerous.
I have not seen that, like used to, you go to, say, a Little League game, and
I
the
think they
kids,
still do it.
the kids were all
at
over
Wiley.
there, like, playing wall ball behind the concession stand,
Yeah.
bouncing the ball.
Where it
off the
specifically
concession
says
stand.
no wall ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Professional wall ball.
for a while, but,
And
yeah, you make it,
and you
you
wouldn't
gotta
have
run, touch the wall.
I did forget about
it wouldn't
wall
have to.
ball.
It wouldn't have to be firing squad because that is. But I mean, if you don't
Oh,
catch it,
no, you've got to play firing squad.
Oof.
well,
I'm
If
out.
it's not if it's not like 3 strikes, then you get a firing squad, then like, what's the, like, you don't have.
but what?
any-
So if you had to run 3 times, you had to get firing squad.
Yeah, that was the rule.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No, if you got pegged, like, you make an error, you gotta run touch the wall,
Right.
right? If someone picks up that ball and pegs you before you touch the wall, that's an out, 3 outs, you have
Oh,
firing
gotcha.
squad.
Okay.
Ouch. Yeah, no.
But
I'm
yeah,
out
and there
on
was,
that.
oh man, I
We can
thought
avoid
about
the
wall
firing
ball
squad.
a long time, but when people do the purposeful, like the ball's bouncing to them, and they're afraid they're gonna like
And they got out of
make
the
an
way.
error, or they slap it, so that goes over here, so you'll have time to run.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
slap should get slapped. Yeah,
Well,
you
yeah.
can't do that. But no, professional wall ball. That is my
That could be interesting.
not a rule. Total. Not
New sport.
didn't create the sport or the game, but we're going to start that live at Mulligan's up by the
Just put up a wall.
put the wall over there, that cage or that fence.
Yeah, just build a wall.
Build a wall there, and when nobody wants to hit golf balls, we're going to have professional wall ball. I'm not doing it. I'm just only calling it.
I would throw my
Ladies-
arm out in 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We've got a battle royal.
Wall ball is probably why I have arm issues to this day.
Well,
Um,
double left hand.
I mean, I still like the greased up pig the best, but
Right.
whatever.
Greased up pig is fantastic, and that's something you
Would
can
that
do.
not be so entertaining
I
to
think it
watch
would.
these professional
But you would
football
have,
players?
but you would have to start the coin toss, and I know we got to go to break.
But that's what gives you like.
You'd have to start the coin toss at like, if the game starts at 12, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 12 our time always is the first game. You would have to start that thing at about 11:45 to give them
You
time
think
to
it's
catch
gonna
it.
take 15 minutes to catch a greased up pig?
You know how hard it is. You just said that.
Well, I'm
You
just
could-
saying, like
is just
these
one
are
person
NFL.
chasing them, or
No,
is it
like-
the
all
whole
53-man roster.
No, we could probably let's do like 5 from each team.
I would love to see Mike McCarthy chasing a pig.
And
I'm
what
gonna-
happens if it runs out of bounds?
I mean, I think it's just
It
a
becomes
free-for-all.
bacon.
Or
It
maybe
becomes
there's like a
bacon.
little pin. I don't know. There's a pin around the field. I don't know. I'll have to look more into it.
Well, there you go.
This is very well thought out.
Yeah, well, deep down, the grease pig and the pop fly to first in professional volleyball, there's a chance that's going to be part of the title of pegging grease pigs in the podcast. And don't
Grease
forget, you
pig sounds so gross.
can, it is gross.
Oily, old, how do you say
Oh my
oil?
All right, new word. She is speaking like I text.
Right.
When we come back, we will kick.
Stuck for a second.
Yeah, she was stuck on the greasy pig. When we come back, great opportunity for you to have a great time, help a great cause, win some Dallas Cowboy tickets, and much more. When we come back, the Noah Project Golf Tournament right around the corner. Time is flying. April will be here before you know it. You can play, ride in a helicopter, so much. Don't forget, we'll be back right after this.
How do you say it? Old. It's like such a weird word. Old up.
You're speaking Merkel.
It's an old up.
Oil.
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 Oiled. Oiled.
For the record,
Oiled.
for the record, he needs to be our first ever.
I bet he would do it if you.
Oh,
Okay,
it's not
y'all
down
sit
the
here
line.
because you're next. We each take a chair so they can.
You want in on this or not?
No, I'm gonna let them both do it so they can have full access.
What am I looking at? New.
That is a hard word because if you go oiled, you sound weird, and if you go old, old,
Depends on what part of Texas you're from.
old, it sounds like I'm saying
Yeah.
old.
Nobody says oil. It's old.
Old.
What do you say? Oil or old?
I don't know. It sounds like I'm saying old,
Say
old,
motor oil.
but I'm trying to say oiled. Oiled.
No, I'm with you.
It's like, it's a hard word.
Are you giving away my helicopter ride?
That's Elena's ride.
Well, I guess whoever wins.
That's the biggest one.
Well, did they?
Because that's the hunt.
Yes, the hunt.
Yes, is a helicopter.
Yes.
I have one just trying to.
All right, I'm gonna take a break. Y'all are live, so don't say anything you don't want to say. You're not live on air, but you're live on Facebook Live.
Oh. What are we live on?
We're stopping.
Have you enjoyed the Toasted Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Toasted Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out thetoastedlive.com or go like them at The Toasted Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticketed events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Toasted Live experience.
So we'll come back, we'll do introduce y'all, Atlanta GA. Talk about roles there, what the, all things Noah Project, and then we'll go to golf tournament. Did y'all blow away on Tuesday?
Yes, I did. Our storm door caught with the wind and broke into pieces. So get to replace the door this weekend.
It was like it just never stopped.
Yeah.
Who?
My in-laws.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll get the last one.
Get ready. The Hodge Pack. Settle in right now. It is time for the Hodge Pack. Sports, life, and everything in between with Josh, Misty, and Hodge. It's time for hour 2 of the Hodge Pack.
It is time for hour number 2, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. We are glad that you're with us. Hope you've thought up your new rule, and if you have one, send it to our Twitter or at Hodge Pack Sports or on our Facebook page. If you're watching new rules, Misty wants to try to catch a greased pig, all the things. But it is time for us to, we've had our Big Country Electric My Town segment with Coach Blocker, but an opportunity to highlight a great organization. I mentioned a great cause and a great opportunity for you for Dallas Cowboy tickets, play golf, and possibly ride in a helicopter. But joining us in our Potosi Live studio is Alana Jeter and Casey Stanfield from NOAA Project. How are y'all doing this morning? I'm glad y'all made it out, and beautiful Friday, no wind.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
And so, again, I'm fortunate enough to be on the board at NOAA Project, and it's a great organization. Hopefully you know about it. Hopefully you see the awareness and all the things that happens at NOAA. But Alana, talk a little bit about, for those that maybe don't know everything about NOAA Project, you completed the first full year.
I have, officially.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about what happens at NOAA Project, the services, the ministry that takes place there.
Absolutely. So that's something we want to make sure everyone's aware of. I had someone walk in the door yesterday, and the first thing they said is, "What is NOAA Project?" And we are the only domestic violence shelter in Abilene and the surrounding 10 counties. And so we serve those who have either been affected by family violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking, and provide safe shelter, outreach services, counseling, legal advocacy, and walk with you every step to get you to that independent living after experiencing such violence in your life.
Well, and so one of the things that we get to see as board members, and y'all see daily, is the impact that and I always say the hope and the freedom of, getting back to where there's a peace and there is hope for, and it's not only women. I'll never forget sometimes men that battle and deal with that, but how it helps restructure and get the family going the right direction.
Absolutely, and you're right, Ryan. We serve women, we serve men, we serve unaccompanied youth, we serve whole families, whoever has been affected, and give you all of those steps. Our advocates walk with each person on their individual plan to remind them that they don't need to depend on someone else. They can stand on their own 2 feet, and we can get them living a life free of violence and truly saving lives every single day in our community.
Well, and Casey, you came on board how long ago?
Almost 8 months.
Almost
Yeah.
8 months.
Almost 8 months.
Coming on board as the new development director, and what's your experience as coming on board as Alana has been in the nonprofit world, but only has been in NOAA Project for a year. What has your 8 months been like of seeing the impact that this facility does, and why raising money that we're going to talk about in a moment, the golf tournament and some other things, is so important? What's your experience been like the last 8 months?
It's been a little surreal, to be honest. I had always heard of NOAA Project, but didn't really fully know what it was all about. And I think sometimes if you aren't experiencing domestic violence or things like that, it's hard for to know what's going on in the community like that. And so it's been a huge learning experience for me. It's been very impactful, and just to have that ability to help people in this capacity it's been amazing.
Well, and I think the stuff, and we even talked a little bit about this as a board not long ago, about how hearing and sharing those success stories, because the job that Kathy and Marissa and all those and behind the scenes of the day-to-day, they get to see the success stories. They also get to see the heartbreak, but get to see the success stories that NOAA Project does to provide, as we mentioned, the hope and the freedom for these kids and these moms and all those things. It is truly neat to see all the impact, because day in and day out, it's not, we've joked about, it's not always red roses, roses and rainbows and all those things. it is in the trenches, seeing those things happen, and the people that are there. I heard somebody say you can't pay passion. The passion and compassion that happens every day, and I'm sure you see that with your staff, from not top to bottom, but just everybody in general of the day-to-day success stories that NOAA Project's having.
Absolutely, and it is a tough job. Today is Employee Appreciation Day, and I couldn't do enough for our staff because they're there every day walking people through the hardest days of their lives. You may know sometimes it takes up to 7 times before a person truly leaves a relationship. And so the heartbreak of knowing someone is going back to an unsafe situation, but reminding them we're here, we won't judge, they'll come back, they're welcome. But we have some huge success stories coming up this week. I just read and know some of the people that are getting in their own apartments. We have some great community partners that are providing some rapid rehousing, and there were a few individuals next week moving into their own apartment for the first time. Someone moved into their own apartment this week. Someone just got a new job. We have kids going to school every day and having those successes, and some fun things planned for our kids next week during spring break. We call NOAA Project home.
Right.
And that's truly it. I've seen the school bus every single day reminds us why we're here.
Right.
We're stopping the cycle. We're providing that safe space to give these kids a chance while these adults heal.
Right, because a lot of times kids can be resilient, and they're going, and unfortunately sometimes they get used to it, and they go. But seeing that, hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take care of mom, or I'm going to take care of dad, or whatever. So it's cool to see that. And so one of the things that takes anything to run, and especially nonprofits, we got, of course, Misty working here, Abilene Gives and all that thing, trying to raise money. And we're always trying to be creative, but what's the next fundraiser? What's the fundraiser? Well, one of the longest running golf tournaments in the big country is the NOAA Project Golf Tournament. It's coming up on April 24th. It'll be at Abilene Country Club South, which is the fairway course for those that are still old school and just call it fairway. But there's a lot of good things going on. And so talk a little bit about sponsorship opportunities, want to play, and we have a lot of fun. I mentioned the helicopter. We have a lot of fun things going on.
Yes, we're really excited. So we are bringing the helicopter ball drop back to Abilene. It hasn't been done in Abilene in a while, from what I'm hearing from the country club, and so we're really excited about that. But there are sponsorship opportunities. There are several levels and several tiers, and so if you want that information, you can go to noaaproject.org/golf. The information for the sponsorships and the teams are on there. Teams of 4 for $750. All players get a swag bag full of really cool stuff. Lunch and breakfast will be provided. So we have United providing breakfast, and First Financial will be out there with their cook team providing lunch. So that'll be really fun. And the helicopter ball drop will be in the middle of the 2 flights. And so an opportunity to purchase a golf ball and see it falling out of the sky for a chance to win a thermal hog hunt. So yeah, it's really exciting.
And go ahead.
As we talk about sponsors, one thing we're really excited about this year is we have a brand new presenting sponsor. And so we're so thankful to DPR Construction for joining us this year for the first time. They're newish to Abilene, but already getting involved in the community, and we love that.
Well, and that's the thing, Abilene, we're fortunate, Katie and her staff at CFA do such a great job. You see the money they raise on Abilene Gives, and we are fortunate to live in such a caring community that cares about the people in Abilene, the businesses and you know this as well, coming from another nonprofit, there's a lot in Abilene, and it takes all of us to help and do our part, and you can do that from your business, you can do that individually, of being able to help these. I call it, for what we do and what way more what y'all do. I'm just all in favor to say I, but on the board is the impact that you make daily. It does take money, and yes, there's grants and things like that, but these nonprofit, these fundraisers is where you get a chance, that are listening and watching, get a chance to be a part of it. Another thing that we've got is we got Dallas Cowboy raffle tickets. It's going to be 6 seats in the suite silver level, which will also come with our friends at Potosi Live and VIP Getaway. They're going to be part of their Bill Gates tailgate. And so The schedule's not out, but it's pretty much any game of the Cowboys except Thanksgiving. One of the home games coming to town. I don't see the NFL doing it, but they might, and which would eliminate it. But Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs will be one of the home games for the Cowboys this year, and so great opportunity. I know I've done it. I'll probably redo it again. But if you need raffle tickets, one for 25 or 5 for 100. You don't have to be at the golf tournament to win, and so there's a lot of opportunities for you to donate and give a part to help make a huge impact on the folks that get to be served and have their life change at Mill Project.
Yes, that's one of the great things about the tournament is you don't have to play golf to participate. You can buy a raffle ticket. You can buy some of the golf balls for the ball drop. We'll have a silent auction out that day, and it will be online as well. And so even if you're not a golfer,
Right.
you can still benefit the Noah Project.
Yeah, and so again, you can go to noahproject.org. You can see the event page, which you'll see not only the golf tournament, which we are focusing on, but there's also a lunch coming in October, which October is Domestic Violence Month, Awareness Month. Is that the correct awareness month?
That is correct.
Sometimes you never know how they word it. It's like National Hot Dog Day or is it National Corn Dog Day? But it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. We'll have a lunch in October. You'll be seeing more about that. But again, we mentioned it. Golf next month, April 24th. An opportunity for you to play, get you a team, get you a sponsorship, raffle tickets, all the things. And so we'll post that and promote that on our page as well. But appreciate y'all coming in to talk about it. And again, thank y'all for what y'all do every day, raising money, changing lives for the folks of Abilene and Haskell. And we have
Absolutely. Satellite office in one of our northern counties.
Yeah, so which is very much part of our listening area there in Haskell as well. So thank y'all for coming in. I know it's an early day and spring break next week.
Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
All right, there you go. Again, Noah Project Golf Tournament next month. Be sure you get signed up, fill it up, because we want a ton of people playing golf. Balls will be dropping from the sky, and hopefully not any houses being hit by my golf shots. When we come back, the NFL is happening. Free agency starts next week, and Dallas is actually doing some things. Maybe it'll be good. We'll get Misty and Josh's thoughts right after this.
Boy, I believe in the big country. My name is John.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, thank y'all, folks. That was good. We covered it all. We'll post the tickets. We can share the link.
Do you need any graphics or anything? I can send you stuff.
You can send them to me and Misty. We'll
Okay.
text one of those.
Oh, great.
But not a public one. Sorry, deep in this.
I know.
Really?
Yes.
I'm still learning how to say old. Let's just selfie this
Are we
situation.
doing old or oil? What are you saying?
I don't know apparently how to talk. Like literally, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I'm oiled. Oiled.
There, that
I
probably.
don't know.
So do you change your oil or oil?
I think we say old. I think I say
You say
old.
old.
But I'm scared now. Okay, Josh, you have the, everybody in. We kind of usually get like right here and this, yeah, y'all get right here. Yeah, or Josh will kind of do it and just everybody get in here. I'm gonna get behind you right here so I can kind of do this.
Beside each other.
Yep. And stand tall. Perfect. Yay! And I'll send that to y'all too, but we'll share it. Post and share. Yes, of course. Thank y'all for coming in. Oh, that's cute.
Running meetings, you just kind of run.
Yeah. Did she tell you
No.
I was like, one thing about me, I don't know if you've learned this in our short time, but like, I don't like to be unprepared. Like, I am, when I'm in a professional setting, like, don't do that to me. Like, I need things we were just having a conversation about that. Like, I need acoustics to work. I need to know what you expect of me. And so, yeah, I got a phone call on the way. I was gonna say, from the courthouse to. Oh, we're just, yeah, it's just, there's a mess and we're trying to get it.
And then I
Not
read the
as-
bylaws Jeff sent, and we didn't do anything right.
Yeah.
There's civilian members.
Yeah, we've got some, we've had a couple of EVs go, and it's just been kind of a little fire since.
New stuff going on.
No, it was wild. I was like so ready to be done, but hopefully the next one will be better. Yes, it'll be what it'll be. Thank y'all so much. Yes, bye y'all. Okay. No, I always enjoy our talks.
Private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years, give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Tax Street, and we'd be glad you did.
Live sports days. Well, man, and it's supposed to be really cold. Fired up for the day.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between, rocking and rolling March 7th in our Post Live studio. Want to remind you, be sure you head over to postylive.com. A lot of things coming up. Next Friday, Rick Trevino is going to be in town, puts on a fabulous show, great music from back in the day. I'm sure I have some new stuff. But Rick Trevino next Friday, March 14th. They got the Crawfish Jam with Eli Young Band on April 12th. And of course, Paul Wall on April 5th. So head over to postylive.com and get your tickets for that. I'm a big fan of Rick Trevino.
That's what we would say, Paul Wall.
I don't know anything about Paul Wall, but everybody else says he's really good and really cool. So you should get those tickets. And they've got some other shows coming up. So always be on the lookout for Posty Live. Follow them on Facebook, postylive.com, and get that information.
A
So,
lot more carrots and bugs.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
is that a line?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did not know you were a Paul Wall guy.
I mean, I dabble in everything.
Well, that's impressive. Well, something that's dabbling around is all the NFL teams. Free agency starts on Monday. The NFL Combine has been taking place. NFL Combine also not only with rookies trying to improve their status and impress people, but the other thing that's taking place is the owners get there. We're starting to see moves made. The franchise tag is taking place. All that's happening. And so the Cowboys this past week, if you remember, at the NFL Combine, Stephen Jones said the Cowboys will be selectively aggressive in free agency, both in-house and on outside market. They've shown their early steps in that department. They signed, I'm going to get this totally wrong, maybe you can help. We've been having a hard time saying oil or all the above. But they signed Osa Ogunduzua to a long-term deal. But they've also restructured CeeDee Lamb and Dak's contract to create $50 million in cap space. And so we just lost Zach Martin. But here's the thing that following Zach Martin's retirement press conference, which happened this past Wednesday, this is what Jerry Jones said. This is from DallasCowboy.com and how Dallas will approach. Stephen and Jerry, I don't think have talked to each other. This is what he says, quote, "I don't think aggressive is the right word. I wouldn't call us really void in any area. If you include what we're going to do in the draft, I wouldn't see that. I'm not looking at free agency as a place to fill voids," end quote. I know you have a hard time interpreting my text. Get it. I know you have a hard time understanding what maybe Misty or I say.
Hey, don't throw me in just because I
No,
had
you-
one mishap.
You jumped into that with both feet.
I didn't mean to. It was one show.
And so, yeah, no, but listen, what is Jerry saying? And call me crazy, Josh and Misty, or other words. I think we have a lot of voids. One would be the press conference they were saying this at, and Zach Martin retiring.
Yes, the Zach Martin not being there creates a void that you're not going to fill. Like,
Right. You've
Yeah.
got to find a way to figure that out.
you can't. I mean, you can
I mean,
only,
I can't- I know
can
you
only
can't-
hope to get somebody that's like maybe kind of almost maybe.
Halfway.
Well, I mean, I know you can't just all of a sudden just go to the shelf. I said, I need an instant Hall of Famer. Can you bring him in? I know you can't do that. There's not a catalog where you just go shopping and Amazon drops them off at the Star. But there is a void. And so you've got this selectively aggressive. And I do appreciate, and I'll be honest with you. I texted or tweeted Pat Costello, some folks at the ESPN, and asked this question. He kind of agreed with me, and I'm sure he has a lot more resources than I do. I don't understand what and how the restructuring, all that does, and how they move their money and do all that. But if there's $50 million in cap space where you can go and sign people, to me, you need to go figure out a way to do that. Whether it's trades, free agency, what would you say are voids outside the offensive line? What are voids that Dallas needs to look at?
Oh, gosh.
Well,
I mean, a lot, I think. But I don't know, with the new coach, like, I don't even know anymore about the Cowboys. But yes, defense, we've got holes everywhere. And what is Dak even going to look like this year?
I mean, I think the offensive line is one you have to figure
the
out whether.
offensive line is for sure
that one's
something
huge.
that was not necessarily a strong point and lost the best player, so that's a problem. The running game is an issue. Rico did serviceable once they put him in full time, but he's not,
But I think he's very similar to Tony Pollard. You've got to have somebody with you.
well, that's what I'm saying. He's not the game changer, and I'm not saying go draft Ashton Genty because I don't know that you need to use that first round pick on him, even though the running backs are kind of coming back into vogue because of recent, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley going to teams and truly making a difference.
Saquon Barkley just became the highest paid running back ever.
Right.
And not just at 22. They signed him and they started working. That's the thing about the other teams and what they're doing is the two teams that were in the NFC Championship, which are in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, they signed Bond, and then they just signed Saquon 2 years, $40 million, rewarding him for helping bring the ring. And the irony is in the Super Bowl, he had an okay game, but Kansas City did their part. But anyway, they're still being aggressive. The Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel, signed Bobby Wagner. They're still being aggressive, and they say they're probably not done. They're not being selectively aggressive. They're going after and making their team better where they were to take another step. Dallas has a lot of steps to climb. I think they need to look, in my opinion, I agree with the offensive line, which is obvious because you replace him, try to cut that out because you don't know what mobility, what Dak's going to be like. You got to protect him. You got to find somebody that you can draft later, undrafted free agent. You can find running backs. There's going to be a lot. I think they need to go find somebody to be opposite of CeeDee Lamb. And there is a ton. The Texans just traded for Christian Kirk and brought him to Texas. You got Stephon Diggs. You got DK Metcalf looking for a trade. You've got a slew of receivers that you've got to find a way to help CeeDee Lamb. Because if you're going to be successful, whether you're a $60 million quarterback or a $4 quarterback, you're going to have some weapons. And all the people that are successful, the Philadelphia Eagles that just won a Super Bowl, A.J. Brown, Smith, you've got to go find weapons for Dak.
I don't disagree with that at all. And, really I was thinking through like what the defense looks like. There's, I guess, middle linebacker. Kendrick is a free agent, if I remember correctly. So you're going to have somebody to replace him. And then overall, we just need the defense to gel and be healthy because it seems like when they're all on the field, there's talent and there's obviously good players, throughout that. It's just how does that come together on the field?
Well, and I heard on, again, Unsportsmanlike, which always reminds me, you're Chris Canty, you're Michelle Smallman, and I'm Evan Conan, is Evan just said, does Cincinnati, because Cincinnati are letting Dickerson go out, and he just led, they're 30 years old, still in his prime. We're looking to get rid of him. They haven't signed T. Higgins yet. They're going to make Jamar Chase the highest paid. And have they not figured out how to run this business in that if you'll pay him earlier, it opens up the cap and all that? And so what I don't get is why we're not doing the things that other people are doing and being a little bit aggressive. Because the Chiefs, people want to go play there. Juju, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, they want to go there because they have a chance to win it all. They don't have to be it's kind of like moving to a school that's successful. They're going to go and move there. So they need to do those things. Here are the notable wide receivers in free agency or trade. You got DK Metcalf, 27. Cooper Kupp, 31. Chris Godwin, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Darius Slayton, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, Christian Kirk, who's no longer available. He's a Texan now, and Amari Cooper. Any one of those guys are going to have to be at that point where you're not having to pay them outlandish amount of money, but enough to, hey, come. Maybe Stephon Diggs wants to come play with his brother. I hope Jerry and Steven get on the same page and start making deals to want to make them better, because there's talk of Aaron Rodgers going to the Giants and all those things. Right now, you're at best the third best team in your own division. Forget the conference. You've got to go out and make them better. And Jerry, let Steven do whatever, but I hope they make some noise that splashes in a way that says, you know what, I get excited about this.
I know. I'm just kind of surprised that they haven't with the last couple of seasons. I don't know. I just, after the Green Bay loss a couple of years ago, and then last year with all the injuries and just kind of throwing in the towel, I don't know. I'm looking for a splash, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
One of the things that some people have talked about is two things. One, you're seeing a lot more NFL guys asking for trades. Myles Garrett wants out of Cleveland. Cleveland's really not working. DK Metcalf wants out. We've told you, we'll go find somebody. We'll see if they'll trade for you. The other big name that they're going to have to decide what they're going to do money-wise is Micah. And eventually they either need to sign Micah in the time frame that says if we do it now, it benefits us down the road. Not right before the 30 minutes before
game day
goes off, or the NFL pregame show goes off the air, and then we sign him, and now you can't go get the people you could have got months ago. But Micah's going to be the one next that is going to have to be paid. And that's one of the things that Jerry says here again on DallasCowboy.com, talking about all this, that we're going to fill the voids. He says, not if you include what might work for us in the draft and what we're doing with our own roster relative to who we want to sign. And to me, that relative to who we want to sign, that Micah Parsons has got to be a part of that.
Right. Well, but I think that limits what you can do in free agency, because if you want to have the money to sign Micah, you can't go get big money free agents, at least not multiple year ones. So
I don't know. It's very interesting on what we have left, what the Cowboys are going to do, and will we start to see more of that starting Monday, free agency. Sam Darnold, they're not going to tag him, so he can be out there. The quarterback carousel has already started. Matt Stafford, we thought he might leave. He's staying put. He signed a new 4-year deal with the Rams. So contracts are happening, movements going on, and before you know it, the NFL draft will be here, ironically, the same time as the Noah Project golf tournament. So hopefully we'll see what Jerry does next. March Madness right around the corner. When we come back, we'll look as we get ready for women are playing now. Men will have their conference tournaments going on too, but we'll be back right after this. Yeah, I saw that. So did you have to run the meeting that apparently was the nonprofit thing yesterday? Were y'all in y'all's office or y'all's warehouse?
Oh, no, we were talking about a different board. No, I didn't have to do anything with it yesterday.
Vlad Jr. reveals sub $600 million ask in Blue Jay talk.
yeah, they didn't get his contract signed, and he threw him under the bus and said, like, gave him a proposal that seemed very reasonable, but
Oh, what's her name? USC girls, remember?
Okay.
Hey, when we come back, think of how you want to answer, but like, will the eyes still be the same with Caitlin out of the women's tournament?
Oh, no.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. As you hear, there's a original intro for the Hodge Pack. Of course, part of that is What I Do by Mark Powell. Don't get Outlaws and Legends. We talk about how fast this spring is going. Outlaws and Legends just a couple weeks away. Clinton Black, Black Hawk, Mark Powell, Ella Langley. Be sure you get your tickets at outlawsandlegends.com. That'll be here before you know it. Hopefully great weather to accompany the great music that'll be happening that weekend. It is March, and March Madness is happening this weekend. The men are finishing up their regular season. Is tomorrow. Duke and North Carolina will be playing. So that'll be big tomorrow, Arizona and Houston. All those things are happening. The women's game, they're playing their tournaments now, getting everything set. Texas beating South Carolina yesterday. Two teams that Aaliyah Chavez has on her short list of 4 that she'll make her announcement on March 25th. Misty, one of the things that I was going to ask you as we start looking at March Madness, we all know what Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese did last year and leading into college basketball, the women's championship, the women's Final Four, all that. This year, still a lot of exposure, still a lot on TV. They changed it. Do you think, I think the answer, I've got my answer. Is the legacy of what they did last year and the year before still being carried on by this year's women's season, the focal point, the excitement? Do you think it's still continuing, or is it phased out?
I think that I don't know that it's completely phased out. Obviously, there's still some really good talent, but not like what we saw last year. And so I think the tournament is going to be very different without Caitlin and Angel, obviously, specifically Caitlin Clark. So it's going to be interesting to see, but definitely the hype surrounding it is not there this year, in my opinion.
See, I think
There are still great teams to watch and great athletes.
but I think that's the difference.
I just think it's not as good as last year with them.
I think the individualization, the individuals of Angel Reese and obviously Caitlin Clark has now shifted to the sport in general. You've got Texas at the top. Of course, Juju Watkins out of USC, unfortunately on the West Coast, but has a lot of hype and a lot of people focused on her. And then you've got UConn again, Paige Bruckner's, and UCLA is good again. Of course, South Carolina's number 5. I think this year, what makes women's college basketball enjoyable is the fact that it's gone from the focus of Caitlin Clark and the individual players to all these programs, to where now it's not South Carolina's to lose. It's a slew of people that have a chance. TCU upsets Baylor women to win their first Big 12 title, I think maybe in history, I don't know. But I think what they did left a big enough stamp. We're seeing expansion teams in the WNBA. Serena Williams now coming on board with the Toronto team that doesn't even start playing until 2026 in the WNBA. So the impact that they have had is continuing on.
You have anything, Josh?
No, I mean, because from a very, very outside point of view, because I don't watch college women's basketball. I've never made an effort to. Last year, I was very aware of who was good and the star power between those two players. They were household names. My very casual self knew that. If you would have told me to name one college female basketball player before you started naming some, which is name them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I would struggle to even name a name.
And I guess that's my point of where
Right.
I think yes, there's still going to be people watching, but I just don't think there will be as many people watching this year as they did last year because of the Caitlin Clark.
I agree because that and the WWE aspect of her relationship with Angel Reese made it interesting. It made me pay attention. And if, it wasn't get my popcorn ready, sit down TV, but if she was on TV, I would pay attention.
Yeah.
This year, I'm like, no offense, ladies, and I'm not trying to be rude, but, it's Thursday night, no basketball on.
Yeah. And so we agree, you disagree. You think ratings are going to be higher or about the same?
I think you're going to still see a ton of people watching.
See, I think the ratings will go down this year.
But I think it's because the basketball, it's kind of like, to an extent, it's kind of like the WNBA. At one point, all the veterans that were upset that all this attention, we've been good, ever since, all those things. But I think the awareness came to women's basketball at a higher level because of those girls. I think you're going to still see that. I mean, I think part of that NIL, you're seeing Paige Buckner's and stuff like that, Juju, and then you've got Madison Booker, who is the SEC Women's Player of the Year. You're starting to see some eyes go and continue to watch. So I do think you're not going to see the drastic drop that many might think, like I said, y'all, because those ladies aren't in it. I think you're going to see it continue to watch because they left such a impact on the sport that it's made a big awareness. I think it's kind of similar to Oklahoma softball. I think that's one of the reasons why you still see why the contract that ESPN had with women's softball exploded was because people started watching it. Oh, Oklahoma's winning their third or fourth or whatever in a row, and now people are starting to pay attention to it. I do think you'll see that with women's basketball.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I know that generally you think you have a thought process, and you think that you might think you're more mainstream than you are. So I'm not going to try to be like narcissistic in this thought process, but I can't help but think there has to be a lot of people who feel the same way that I feel, which is like, I'm all about sports, and I like a good ball game, and a women's basketball game can and does catch my attention when I happen to be in the place that I can notice it and like, oh, this is a good game. It's down to the wire, going out the end. I will watch this for a second. So it's not just like I'm like, oh, put the ball, turn it off. But I have zero prerequisite knowledge going into like what I want to watch. If I was going to watch a college girls basketball game, who's good on what team, none of it. And so I don't have any excitement to look to turn on one of those ball games.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned about softball and about Oklahoma is very good. I watch sports. We have sports on at our house. If a softball game is the only game that's on TV, I'm watching that over whatever's on ESPN, the Ocho. So like, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know when we'll ever see what the ratings are and what the hype is. I know that networks are pushing it, so they're going to draw some eyes just because there's more push to it than there has been in a long time. But I can't think I'm that far off of the average sports fan and what my feelings are about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the ratings do over the next couple of weeks, especially with the tournament starting. I was wrong. It is Kansas and Arizona playing this weekend. Houston is heading to Baylor tomorrow for a big game. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for that late. It's not like they're playing on the West
I know.
Coast.
They're like
That's not even West Texas. It's Central Texas.
It's a home game in Waco, and it's Houston's obviously in the same time zone. So
Yeah, that's strange.
It's just been on TV, I'm sure. But I was like, man, I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm not saying about it.
Yeah.
Well, you'll watch like the first half,
Yeah,
and then
right.
hopefully. Baylor, one of those, trying to still find a way to get in. Of course, they'll have this weekend, finishes up the regular season. The conference tournaments will start next week, and then Selection Sunday will be right around the corner. How many Big 12, how many SEC teams will get in? For the Red Raiders, it looks like they're going to be a 3 seed, and Baylor, will their name get them in, or will they have to do some damage tomorrow against Houston at a very late time, or make some noise in the tournament as well?
Baylor's going to have to do something to make it. So,
but real quick, before we go to break in college, McMurray women playing today in the tournament and got to punch the ticket for the tournament as well, and Hardin Simmons men. So congratulations to them. Hopefully they get a W today. When we come back, we'll send you into the weekend, and thank goodness we're getting more sunlight.
Okay, I'm outie.
bye.
Take yourselves into the weekend.
Have a good meeting.
Yes, all right.
Yeah.
Bye, Miss Field.
Yeah.
Hey, get old up.
Oh, I'm just joking.
Get old
I'm
up.
gonna
It's your
pray all the
birthday.
way.
Get old up.
Oh, I'm still trying to decide how to say it.
Look, it's not that far.
Old.
Old.
It sounds like I'm saying old. I'm done.
I'm not sure which one.
I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art safe and secure facility. We are the DRI shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in destruction of your most private documents or any of those many boxes that are stacked up over the years. Give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clark Street. We'd be glad to do it. For over 30 years, Morris Hall Appling has been voted Appleman's best preferred vendor for our customers. That's because we offer the best products for Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, and the best customer service too. And that's still true today. Great products and great customer service. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, just this. Or just us online 24/7 at MorrisHallAppling.com.
So what do y'all do with your kids next week? Don't let them know that school is canceled.
Just drop them off at school.
Tell us what you learned.
Drop-off line short this morning. Y'all have fun.
You'll be able to get in line real quick. I still think what Grayson Rigdon's going to get a chance to do today at 1 o'clock is impressive. He won 4 state championships in football, and we'll have a chance to win a state championship in basketball today.
That is pretty good.
I am excited about the time is changing.
Yeah, that's first Sunday morning, it feels like you woke up at like the
Well, and so,
absolute middle of the night. You're like, oh, it's actually time to get up. What's going on?
but what I don't get, and I know it's because you lose an hour of sleep.
Yeah.
So 5 Hour Energy has come up with this hour shot. It's like that big, and
You're supposed to like shoot it so when you wake up, so you.
well, like if you need just that hour to get through, final day at work or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of 5, you just do 1. And I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why anybody would want to. Anyway, my point is, they always say, man, you dreading that hour, you're going to lose. Take this hour energy drink from 5 Hour Energy. It's going to get you ready for that hour that you lost. It doesn't bother me losing that hour because I know the greatness of the.
Oh no, I mean the trade-off is well worth it. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that like when you originally the first few days after this with like this time change, when your alarm goes off, you feel like it is like the middle of the night. Like it's only 1 hour, but it messes with you. And then you get used to it and you love that it's 9 o'clock at night and you're still outside.
Yes. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack as we rock in and get you set for the weekend. Again, state championships are happening in San Antonio, the PGA at Bay Hill, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and Sunday time changes. We spring forward. For those that think you lose an hour of sleep, but you gain glorious sunlight, Josh and I were talking about that. I'm excited for it, and I love it. But
I love it also. I love sun being up in post-work hours. Where, and obviously the days are getting longer, spring is getting closer and all of that, but the idea that you get home from work and you can like fire up the grill and chill outside and not just be like, well, it's dark.
Yeah. I love it. I'm excited for it. Can't wait. But again, state tournament today, just kind of wrapping that up. Paradise and Kuntz. Irony about that game is girls played each other last week in the state tournament, so Kuntz, they'll probably win. Tatum and Columbus, we talked about that, what Grayson Rigdon and Columbus is going to have a chance to do today. Kennedale, Laura Cunningham's hometown, they're playing Houston Whitley. Dallas Kimball, legendary school, they've been there a number of times. Houston, Washington, and then tomorrow you got Mansfield Summit, Fort Bend Marshall, North Richland Hills, Birdville versus Beaumont Westbrook. Dittengeyer, Katie Jordan, sounds like a name.
Katie Jordan?
Yeah, Katie Jordan, went to school with her. And then Duncanville versus Houston Bel Air. We'll wrap up basketball for the season and be full-fledged spring everything tomorrow.
It's not going to feel like spring tomorrow.
No, it's not. It is not going to do that at all. Today will feel like spring. Tomorrow will feel like winter came back and needed something.
Yeah, like high, low 40s, windy. We preemptively canceled baseball practice. I'm not messing with that.
Well, here's my thing that I struggle with, and we got a couple minutes left, is what blows my mind. All right, just real quick. Josh, get your phone.
Okay, all right.
Tell me what time your phone says.
8:57.
So does mine. What I don't understand is why one app will tell you it is 67, it's going to be the high of 80 today. Then you go to another app, it's 64. And it's going to be the high today is 79.47, which is not too bad. What blows my mind is on like tomorrow, how different the apps. I need the apps to focus and just be on the same page.
Well, they're all just making a guess. I mean,
I know, but it wears me out. Like one app will give you hope, then you go to the other and say, no, I'm just kidding. The wind's really going to blow. Oh, it's really going to rain. It's really going to do that.
Well, that's the thing.
I need them to work together.
From one app to another, like if you look at like the Weather Channel app, it says it's an 80% chance, and you look at the AccuWeather and it's a 50% chance.
Yeah.
Like, I
mean that, and the person that gets the job that says, hey, it's 40 degrees. Hey, walk outside, tell me what it feels like, and then come back in. It feels like it's 32. It's only 40. I don't know who gets that job. I know there's probably a lot more scientific reason for
Yes,
that.
Hodge, it's called wind chill. There's a factor, you can do math.
I can. I can.
I don't know if you can do math, but
Oh, no,
somebody can.
no, I can for sure.
But
But anyway, so the weekend is set. Golf, not sure what tomorrow is, but TV watching, there'll be basketball, late games tomorrow night for Baylor and Houston. So be sure you tune those in. No baseball tomorrow, so what are you going to do tomorrow?
I'm having a struggle with that. It's going to be cold, windy. Hopefully it rains a little bit.
We need the rain.
Doesn't seem like a day you want to be outside. And I'm like, why can't this happen on a Thursday and we have a good day on a Saturday? I mean,
Right. Like Tuesday happened on Tuesday, which was terrible because the wind was so
that,
awful.
yeah, well, that was just one of the. You could not be outside that day. I mean, it was for
Small
not,
children would have had to transfer schools because they landed there.
Yes, I've never in my at least collective memory can remember just a day that was that terribly windy just all day long.
Right. Well, and and again, your third favorite holiday, because I know you love Jesus, Christmas, and Easter. But like the Sunday, I was worried about your event that we had. I know I've got about 5 seconds to say this, but like once the Lord finally turned the wind off, it was so peaceful on your back porch.
Yes, but like Sunday was very windy and not really warm. Saturday was wonderful. It's just like we're all over.
But
the
it
place.
blew a ton,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden
it calmed down.
So
Right.
we hope you calm down. We hope you have a great weekend. Go. Don't forget to download, subscribe, rate, review on the podcast. If you missed any of it, we'll grease pigs, oiled up, all those things.
Oh.
And then of course JB Cloud will be coming in with some tunes. Greg Austin this afternoon. High Lonesome tomorrow. And Jones will be back with you on Monday. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll never take you for granted. All those big country 106.9, the Country Giant listeners. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with more Hodge Pack next Friday right here on the Country Giant.
You want the lunch today? Lunch or 10 golf?
If